Hi, my name is Anthony Brandon Wong. I was born in Sydney, Australia, and I've lived in a lot of different places, but Sydney and Los Angeles are the main two bases that I'm in these days. Gosh, I have been acting for almost 30 years, and I've been very fortunate to work on 5 continents in things like Hollywood movies like the Matrix sequels and Flight of the Phoenix, and HBO shows like Hemingway and Gellhorn. And more independent comedy movies like Guns, Girls and Gambling with Gary Oldman and Christian Slater, and a lot of work in Australia too, All Saints, Home and Away, Water Rats, etc., and a lot of American television like Glee, NCIS, The Unit, and Hawaii Five-0. So there's been a lot of different diverse things, a lot of theatre, and it's wonderful to come to Thicker Than Water.
What made you decide to be a part of this production?
3 words: Ellie, Maddie and Tin. So Ellie and Maddie were, I initially met Ellie and Maddie as students in my acting class, and I was really taken with, they're like early 20s going on 50. They are very, very evolved old souls, and as producers, they're some of the best producers I've ever worked with, to be quite honest. They're so on it. So I knew that working on Thicker Than Water was going to be a very professional experience, and I was going to be well looked after. So that's the first thing. And I also respect Ellie and Maddie as actors. I've seen a fair bit of their work now, and I knew that they would bring great heart and passion and depth to the work. And then I said Tin was the other reason, and the role of Tin is so delicious. He's naughty, he's camp, he's flamboyant, but he's very much his own person, and he actually has a lot of dignity as well as a character. So I thought, where do I get to play a character like that? It's not every day I get to do that. So I thought it'd be really delicious to play a dance instructor. I'm going to have to get back to dance class, and to play someone who has that kind of devil-may-care ownership of who he is. That's a really fun and wonderful thing to explore. What I'm looking forward to when we come together in Brisbane later in the year is that I'm going to be amongst friends. It's always great to co-create and have a collaborative experience with friends and artists that you respect and love. And that creates an energy of friendship and family that will hopefully really translate across to the telling of this story, because it is a family story, and not just a biological family story, but Thicker Than Water. What does that mean? That you can have a family that is not blood necessarily, but is as close, if not closer than blood. And I think the basis we have as people and as artists that know and care about each other will infuse this wonderful story we're telling. Any story that is dealing with family and human beings struggling to overcome addiction, psychological problems, and coming together and trying to find forgiveness and love. That's the human story, isn't it? That's a really basic, fundamental building block of the human struggle and the human condition, which is how do we start in love, which I think we're all birthed into a place of love, and then we go awry and we get into addiction, or we get into resentment, and then the coming back together, the return to love. I think that's a universal story, and I think that's an important story, and a story about healing, which is what I think this movie is very much about, and I think that needs to be told.